पीछे हटो। चार्ली पर है, दरवाजा खोलो।
And they know their boss is there.
देखो।
Mama şeni karıs.
Şenliğinti. Pizza çorayız. Ja, so ist das im Anlager. Davit को संभालो, ब्रेक फेल हो गए हैं। ხდება?
ძალიან მაღალ დონეზე იყო და გეკეთება რა.
შეჩნები ზება უნდა და შენს მასზე და ეგეთები.
ბავშვმა უკლავ თვალწინ შურის ზება თუ
მამა სად არის?
ეხა მაგის
არ.
მამა შენი არ მოდ.
ჰა?
სანდრო მამის მინდა.
Gonna kill your mother. I was him.
რა გაკეთე? არ იცი.
हम कवर करते हैं तुम्हें कुछ नहीं होगा
You guys need.
სანდრო მოდი ჩემ მოდი ჩვენთან
Zurab!
შენ დააბლობა მიდი
Take their wings.
Edward.
Какое?
Zaan tu guarda sceni dedico.
जाओ फैमिली
И बहुत फिक्र है तुझे इसे अपने दुश्मनों के साथ
Shut up! तुम आगे ध्यान दो यार मेरी तरफ देखो मेरी तरफ देखो
आजा नहीं
Literally consume yourself in a life totally draining from your body. Ga moord weer Point at his head.
Kaya.
Daarom is het net გითხარი. What is? Doe je?
गन नीचे रख और देखिए बेचारा
Ce putain de gueule.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the adrenaline-fueled sequel, Extraction 2. We kick off exactly where the last one left us, with our man, Tyler Rake, taking an unscheduled, very long swim after a rather dramatic plummet off a bridge. Spoiler alert for the first movie, I guess, but come on, you knew he wasn't really gone. We see him pulled from the murky waters, looking less like a hero and more like a very expensive, very broken ragdoll. Doctors are frantically working on him, a flurry of medical jargon and frantic beeps echoing through the sterile environment. It's a gritty, almost visceral start, painting a clear picture of just how close he came to meeting his maker. His recovery is not a montage of triumphant gym sessions with upbeat music, oh no. This is the brutal, painstaking reality of rehabilitation. Every breath is a struggle, every movement an agony. We watch as he slowly, painfully, rebuilds his shattered body in a remote cabin, surrounded by snow and presumably a whole lot of internal screaming. The silence is punctuated only by the crackle of a fire and the strained grunts of a man pushing himself beyond human limits, a real testament to his sheer, unadulterated stubbornness. If you liked this sneak peek, hit the like button and subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel and let me know you want more. Just when Rake seems to be finding a sliver of peace, or at least a stable heart rate, who strolls into his snowy sanctuary but the ever-so-smooth Alcott? He's got that "I'm here to ruin your quiet retirement" vibe down pat. Alcott lays out the new gig. Extract Ketevan, Rake's ex-wife Mia's sister, and her 2 kids from a heavily fortified Georgian prison. Oh, and her husband, Davit Radiani, is a ruthless crime lord who's essentially holding them captive within those very walls. No pressure, right? Rake, quite understandably, is less than thrilled with the idea of jumping back into a literal inferno. He's been through enough, thank you very much. The memory of his last mission and the emotional toll it took hangs heavy in the air. We hear the subtle, almost imperceptible shift in his breathing, the faint clenching of his jaw as the implications sink in. It's not just any mission, it's personal. This isn't just about money or reputation, it's about family, a concept Rake has struggled with his entire life. The offer sparks a flicker of something in his eyes, a mix of dread, duty, and maybe, just maybe, a chance at some kind of redemption. The silence in the cabin is almost deafening as he weighs the impossible choice. He tries to push back, muttering about being done, but Alcott knows just how to twist the knife, reminding him of his past and the chance to make a difference. The moral compass in Rake, though heavily battered, still points towards helping those in need, especially when it involves his estranged family. After a moment of intense internal struggle, a deep sigh escapes him, and we see the reluctant, almost imperceptible nod. The mission is on, and just like that, the quiet rehabilitation is over. Time to trade those comfy PJs for some tactical gear, I guess. Dot with the mission begrudgingly accepted. Rake quickly gets his band back together, because, let's be real, you don't tackle a Georgian prison solo, unless you're like Batman, and even he brings a sidekick. He meets up with a dynamic duo, Nick and Yaz, his indispensable partners in mayhem. There's a genuine warmth in their reunion, a quiet understanding forged in countless firefights and near-death experiences. Their banter is sharp, economical, and laced with an unspoken loyalty. They immediately dive into the logistics, spread out over blueprints and satellite images, a stark contrast to the cozy cabin. The details of the target are laid out, Ketevan, and her children are trapped within a sprawling high-security prison, a veritable fortress designed to keep things in, not let them out. The discussions are precise, almost surgical, as they meticulously plan every possible angle of entry and exit. We hear the crisp rustle of paper as they examine prison schematics, the soft click of a pen marking potential breach points. They gear up with an impressive array of weaponry and tech, each item purpose-built for extreme scenarios. From custom-fitted body armor that would make a medieval knight jealous, to an array of firearms that look like they could stop a small tank. They're leaving nothing to chance. The weight of the equipment, the metallic clink of magazines being loaded, the satisfying snap of a weapon being readied, it all adds to the growing tension. Nick, with her strategic brilliance, outlines the tactical approach, her voice calm and authoritative amidst the organized chaos of preparation. Yaz, ever the watchful and loyal protector, ensures every piece of gear is in its place and operational. There's a palpable sense of anticipation, a nervous energy that hums beneath their calm professionalism. They're not just mercenaries. They're a family, albeit one that specializes in breaking people out of very bad places. This isn't just a job. It's an unspoken pact to look out for each other, no matter the cost. As they load into their transport, the collective deep breath before the plunge is almost audible. The stage is set for an epic and undoubtedly violent prison break. The moment arrives. Rake, looking less like a friendly neighborhood extraction specialist and more like a tactical Grim Reaper in full riot gear, breaches the prison walls. The plan? Create a diversion, specifically a massive, staged prison riot. Because what's a good prison break without a little chaos, right? As they make their entry, the sounds of pandemonium are instantaneous. The roar of angry inmates, the shrill alarms, the sharp cracks of gunfire echoing off concrete walls. It's an auditory assault, a symphony of destruction. Rake moves with brutal efficiency, a force of nature cutting through the ranks of guards and inmates alike. Every punch lands with a sickening thud. Every block is delivered with bone-jarring force. The choreography here is just chef's kiss, a masterclass in close-quarters combat. He's not just fighting, he's flowing, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone. We see the sheer desperation and brutality of the prison environment come alive, with inmates swarming, their faces contorted in a mix of fury and fear. Our hero, seemingly impervious, absorbs and dishes out punishment with equal measure. The air is thick with the metallic tang of blood and the acrid smell of burning rubber from exploding vehicles outside. Rake's objective is clear: find Ketevan and her children. He navigates the labyrinthine corridors, a human battering ram smashing, through barricades and sending armed thugs flying. There's a constant barrage of gunfire, the ricocheting bullets sparking off the walls, adding another layer of danger to an already impossible situation. He eventually locates Ketevan and her 2 bewildered, terrified children huddled in a cell, their relief quickly turning to renewed terror as the battle rages around them. Just as he secures them, Davit, Ketevan's menacing husband and the kid's father, makes a grand, menacing entrance. David's presence crackles with malevolent energy, his voice a low growl that cuts through the surrounding din. He's not letting his family go without a fight, and that fight is predictably brutal. Rake, with a clear, almost chilling resolve, puts an end to David's reign of terror with swift, decisive force. The heavy thud of David's body hitting the floor is a chilling punctuation mark to the escalating violence. This isn't just an extraction, it's a declaration of war. And now, for the main event, the part that makes every action movie enthusiast collectively gasp in awe: the legendary one-shot sequence. Rake, with Ketevan and the children in tow, bursts into the heart of the prison yard, which has devolved into an absolute, unadulterated war zone. Imagine every prison riot you've ever seen, then multiply it by 10, add a dash of pure insanity, and you're still not quite there. The sheer scale of the chaos is breathtaking. Inmates are clashing with guards, fires are raging, vehicles are exploding with deafening booms that shake the very ground beneath them. It's a symphony of screams, gunshots, and the sickening crunch of bodies colliding. Rake becomes a human shield, a guardian angel made of muscle and sheer willpower, constantly positioning himself between the vulnerable family and the relentless onslaught of attackers. His movements are fluid, each punch, kick, and grapple a desperate measure to keep them alive. We hear the metallic clang of a shovel against armor, the wet thud of a fist connecting, the strained grunts of effort. The camera sticks to them like glue, weaving through the anarchy, making you feel every near miss, every brutal impact. It's a masterclass in immersive filmmaking, a true testament to the stunt team and camera operators. They fight their way through hallways, across rooftops, down stairwells, the environment itself becoming an additional adversary. The children, wide-eyed and terrified, are clinging to Ketevan, witnessing horrors no child should ever see. The emotional weight is palpable, juxtaposed against the visceral violence. Just when you think they might have a moment to breathe, they transition from foot combat to a frantic car chase inside the prison grounds, smashing through barricades and dodging a hail of bullets. The roar of the engine, the screech of tires, the shattering of glass. It's a relentless sensory overload. Then, somehow, they transition back to a foot chase, scrambling over obstacles and through tight spaces, the pursuit never letting up. The seamless flow from one brutal encounter to the next is genuinely jaw-dropping. It's not just a fight, it's an endurance test, a desperate struggle for survival against seemingly insurmountable odds. Rake is battered, bruised, but his resolve never wavers, his focus solely on protecting the innocent lives entrusted to him. This entire sequence is a masterclass in how to make a viewer feel utterly exhausted and exhilarated at the same time. Barely. Escaping the prison carnage, Rake and his traumatized charges find themselves scrambling aboard a moving train because, apparently, a prison riot wasn't enough excitement for one day. Just as they think they might catch a moment's breath, the train becomes the next battleground. Remember Davit? Well, his even more menacing brother, Zurab, is now utterly furious and out for blood, sending his elite thugs to finish the job. The train, initially a symbol of escape, quickly transforms into a metallic death trap. Rake, Nick, and Yaz are instantly back in action, fighting tooth and nail in the narrow confines of the train cars. Every punch, every kick, every gunshot is amplified by the tight spaces, the sounds echoing off the metal walls, creating a truly claustrophobic and intense experience. We hear the distinct whoomp, whoomp, whoomp of a helicopter closing in, adding another layer of aerial menace. Bullets rip through the train's windows, sending shards of glass flying, narrowly missing the kids. It's a relentless onslaught. Rake, ever the resourceful warrior, uses every part of the train as a weapon, throwing enemies into seats, smashing them against walls, even using the very movement of the train to his advantage. There's a particularly gnarly sequence where he's clinging to the side of the train, fighting off attackers while a helicopter hovers menacingly, its rotor wash threatening to rip him off. The wind whips past, a deafening roar combining with the incessant gunfire. The stakes are impossibly high, with Ketevan and the children cowering amidst the chaos, their cries often drowned out by the explosions and frantic gunfire. Yaz and Nick are absolute beasts, working in perfect synchronicity with Rake, covering his flanks, taking down enemies with brutal efficiency. The sheer athleticism required for these stunts is just mind-boggling. People are jumping between cars, dangling precariously and somehow still landing devastating blows. This train sequence isn't just about the physical combat. It's about the relentless psychological pressure, the feeling that there's no safe haven, no escape from Zurab's vengeful wrath. Each carriage brings a new wave of threats. Each corner turned reveals another armed assailant. It's a symphony of metallic scrapes, grunts of pain, and the frantic rat-a-tat-tat of automatic weapons, all against the backdrop of a speeding locomotive. This whole segment is a masterclass in sustained tension, making you wonder how on earth they'll ever make it to the next stop, alive. Finally, comma, after what feels like an eternity of non-stop, heart-stopping combat. Our battered heroes reach a safe house in Vienna. It's a brief, much-needed respite, a moment to catch their breath, and for the kids, a chance to process the absolute trauma they've just endured. The serene setting, a stark contrast to the previous battlegrounds, almost feels like a trick, a cruel joke. We see the team trying to decompress, patching up wounds, both physical and emotional. Rake is, predictably, still on high alert, but there's a noticeable easing of tension, a moment where he allows himself to actually be tired. Nick and Yaz are doing their best to comfort Ketevan and the children, whose faces still bear the haunted look of recent horrors. However, this piece is fragile, built on a foundation of shifting sands. In a moment of understandable yet ultimately catastrophic desperation, Ketevan makes a fateful call to her brother-in-law Zurab, informing him of Davit's death. This is the domino that kicks off the next wave of devastation. Meanwhile, her son, Sandro, still reeling from the violent death of his father at Rake's hands, is manipulated by Zurab. Sandro, a child caught between two warring families, makes a heartbreaking choice born of grief and confusion. He subtly, perhaps even unknowingly, provides information that allows Zurab to pinpoint their location. The seeds of betrayal are sown, leading to a creeping sense of dread that slowly permeates the quiet atmosphere of the safe house. We hear the hushed tones of the phone call, the slight tremor in Ketevan's voice, followed by Sandro's surreptitious, whispered conversation, each a tiny crack in their seemingly secure sanctuary. The tranquil setting is suddenly charged with an unspoken tension, a ticking clock that only the audience can hear. It's a poignant moment, highlighting the tragic consequences of a cycle of violence, where even the innocent become unwitting pawns. The quiet before the storm is always the most unsettling, isn't it? Because you just know it's not going to last, And just like that, the brief calm shatters into a million pieces. Zurab, true to his word and fueled by vengeance, launches a full-scale assault on the safe house. It's not just an attack, it's an invasion, a relentless wave of highly trained, heavily armed thugs swarming the property. The initial burst of gunfire is absolutely deafening, blowing out windows, shredding walls, and turning the peaceful refuge into a war zone in mere seconds. Rake, Nick, and Yaz are immediately on the defensive, reacting with lightning speed, but they're significantly outnumbered and outgunned. The safe house, designed for comfort, now becomes a series of choke points and kill zones. Every corner turned is an ambush, every doorway a death trap. We hear the desperate cries of Ketevan and the children as they're ushered to safety, their terror palpable amidst the cacophony of explosions and automatic weapons fire. The fight is brutal, visceral, and incredibly personal. Rake fights with a ferocious, almost primal rage, fueled by the betrayal and the immediate threat to the lives he's sworn to protect. He's taking down enemies with a relentless efficiency, the crack of his rifle punctuated by the sickening thud of bodies hitting the floor. But the enemy keeps coming, wave after agonizing wave. In a truly heartbreaking moment, Yaz, ever the selfless protector, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He bravely shields Ketevan and the children from a deadly grenade blast, absorbing the full impact. The explosion is a guttural roar, followed by a terrifying, ringing silence. His death is sudden, shocking, and incredibly impactful, ripping a hole in the team and in Rake's already fractured soul. The emotional weight of this moment is immense. Nick's raw scream of anguish, Rake's momentary pause of disbelief and fury, it all solidifies the personal stakes. This isn't just an extraction anymore, it's a blood feud, a quest for vengeance. Rake's eyes, usually cool and calculating, now burn with an inferno of grief and righteous anger. The rest of the fight is a blur of furious, desperate action. As Rake and Nick fight their way out, their movements driven by a shared sorrow and a singular burning desire for retribution, the safe house is left a charred, bullet-riddled wreck, a monument to a promise broken and a life lost. It's a gut-wrenching turn, ensuring that the final confrontation will be nothing short of explosive. With Yaz tragically gone, the mission transforms into a raw, burning quest for vengeance. Rake, now a man possessed, and a grief-stricken equally. Furious Nick tracks Zurab to his lavish, incredibly well-guarded high-rise sanctuary in Vienna. Because, naturally, supervillains always have the best real estate. This isn't just an infiltration, it's a declaration of war, a calculated, brutal assault on the very heart of Zurab's empire. The approach itself is audacious, showcasing Rake's disregard for personal safety when driven by such intense emotion. They scale the building, using every shadow and structural weakness to their advantage. A silent, deadly ascent, punctuated only by the whisper of climbing gear. And once inside, it's a systematic demolition of Zurab's forces. The building, designed as a fortress, becomes a maze of close-quarters combat. Rake and Nick move with chilling precision, their combined fury a terrifying force. The sounds are a symphony of destruction. The sharp crack of silenced weapons, the dull thud of bodies dropping, the frantic shouts of guards realizing too late they're up against something truly unstoppable. Each floor presents a new challenge, a fresh wave of heavily armed goons, all of whom seem rather unprepared for two people fueled by so much righteous anger. Rake is a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and improvised weapon usage, his movements fluid and devastating. We feel the impact of every blow, the jarring recoil of every shot fired. Nick, as always, is his perfect complement, covering angles, dispatching enemies with ruthless efficiency, her face a mask of grim determination. There are moments of almost balletic violence, where the sheer physicality and coordination of the stunts are breathtaking. They breach a gym, a lavish office, a residential apartment, each space instantly transformed into a bloody battleground. The opulent surroundings are torn apart, glass shattering, furniture splintering, all testament to the ferocity of the fight. The mission to save Ketevan and her remaining child, who are still Zurab's leverage, is woven into this tapestry of vengeance. Rake's relentless pursuit through the building is punctuated by his fierce protectiveness, ensuring no harm comes to the innocent. This entire sequence is a masterclass in dynamic action within a confined, yet constantly changing environment, a testament to the fact that when you mess with Rake's team, you're going to get an entire high-rise full of pain delivered straight to your doorstep. After the high-rise carnage, the final inevitable showdown shifts to a deserted airfield, a desolate expanse that perfectly sets the stage for a brutal, no-holds-barred confrontation. Rake has managed to get Ketevan and the children to safety, or at least to a less immediately dangerous place, and now it's just him and Zurab. This isn't just an extraction anymore, it's a reckoning. Zurab, still convinced of his invincibility, faces Rake with a terrifying blend of arrogance and raw, animalistic fury. The wind whips across the tarmac, carrying the tension in its currents, creating a sense of isolated gladiatorial combat. The fight is raw, visceral, and incredibly personal, a testament to the deep-seated hatred and grief on both sides. We hear the sickening crunch of bone on bone, the strained grunts of effort, the heavy, ragged breaths of two men pushing themselves to their absolute limits. Every punch carries the weight of Yaz's death, of Ketevan's suffering, and of Rake's own internal demons. The choreography is brutal, less about flashy moves and more about sheer, desperate force, each blow intended to disable or kill. Rake is beaten, battered, but his resolve is unbreakable. Zurab, despite his formidable fighting skills, is ultimately consumed by his own rage and recklessness. Just as Rake is pushed to the brink, Nick arrives, a guardian angel of vengeance, providing crucial backup and tilting the scales in their favor. The sound of her arriving vehicle screeching to a halt, followed by the crisp, precise crack of her rifle, is a moment of pure, unadulterated relief. Together, they corner Zurab, and the ensuing struggle is short, sharp, and decisive. Rake, with a final cathartic burst of strength, delivers the killing blow, ending Zurab's reign of terror. The heavy thud of Zurab's body hitting the cold tarmac is a final, grim punctuation mark. The fight leaves Rake utterly exhausted, collapsing to his knees, his mission of vengeance complete, but the cost, as always, is immense. Sandro, Ketevan's son, is also found and captured, a solemn reminder of the innocent caught in this violent web. His terrified, guilt-ridden gaze meets Rake's, a silent acknowledgement of the roles they've both played in this tragedy. The air is thick with the metallic tang of blood and the acrid smell of spent gunpowder, a grim testament to the battle that just unfolded. The silence that descends after the final shot is almost as deafening as the previous chaos, a somber end to a brutal chapter. In the aftermath of the epic showdown, Rake and Nick, predictably, find themselves in a bit of a pickle, namely a jail cell. Because apparently, even world-class extraction specialists have to deal with pesky things like international law and property damage. But fear not, our trusty fixer, Alcott, swoops in like a dark knight with a briefcase, securing their release with the ease of someone who definitely knows how to pull strings you didn't even know existed. We hear the distinct click of the cell door, the slight squeak of a guard's boots as he escorts them out, a sound that promises freedom. They're bruised, battered, and probably craving a very long, very quiet nap. But their unwavering loyalty to each other and their shared, grim determination are palpable. The scene then shifts to Alcott, introducing them to his incredibly enigmatic boss, a character played by none other than the effortlessly cool Idris Elba. This guy exudes power and mystery, his presence immediately signaling that Rake and Nick's adventures are far from over. He's not just a boss, he's the puppet master, the man behind the curtain. He offers them another mission, of course, because why stop a good thing when you've got two highly effective, albeit slightly unhinged operatives? The offer is vague but tantalizing, hinting at future, even more dangerous escapades. It's a tantalizing tease for what's to come, leaving us all wondering what fresh hell Rake and Nick will be extracted into next. The subtle glint in Rake's eye, the almost imperceptible nod between him and Nick, tells us everything we need to know. Their lives of quiet contemplation are definitely on hold for the foreseeable future, as if they ever really existed. The future is unwritten, but one thing is clear. Wherever there's impossible danger and people needing to be extracted, Tyler Rake and Nick Khan will inevitably be there, probably covered in blood and looking for a fight. It leaves you feeling like the fight is never truly over, only paused for dramatic effect. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. As the dust settles and the adrenaline slowly recedes, we're left with Tyler Rake, not quite at peace, but perhaps a little closer to it. His gaze, often hardened by battle, now holds a flicker of contemplation. He's seen the depths of human cruelty and the heights of self-sacrifice. This journey, fueled by vengeance and a desire to protect, has come at an immense cost, both physically and emotionally. Yet, there's an undeniable strength in his resilience, a quiet determination to continue fighting the good fight, even if it means bearing an ever heavier burden. The world is a dangerous place, and sometimes it takes a broken hero to patch it up, one impossible extraction at a time. His path isn't easy, but it's one he walks with a profound sense of purpose. This isn't just a story of action. It's a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure, to rise from the ashes, and to find a reason to keep fighting, even when everything seems lost. The fight continues, and so does the legend of Tyler Rake. It truly makes you think about the quiet heroes among us.
कैसा है
उसने उन्हें सारे कारोबार बताए
मेरे को
लेकिन मुझे आना
थैंक यू मैं कर ना सका
नहीं सोचा कि तुम उसे छोड़कर जा रहे उसने बहुत हिम्मत वो तुम्हें बहुत मानता
मेरा हो जाता है मैं बहुत मजेदार है अपना मेरे ऊपर आएगा